Hello, I'm CapWolfster and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Wing Gundam Zero from the anime Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. This is from the high grade AC line, which is a pretty cool line of model kits that has really great color separation and articulation, and so far they've done most of the main Gundams. Now I'm no stranger when it comes to the high grade insert timeline here, 1 to 144 scale model kits. But it has been about 3 to 4 years since I built one, and it's also been a very long time since I built a wing kit. And it being a Wing Zero, which was a model that I used to put together a lot when I was younger, is super cool, especially getting to see all the upgrades that have come into the line of high grades in the 1 to 144 scale. It's pretty darn cool. But yeah, let's talk about the Wing Zero. After the Tallgeese was considered a failure because it was too dangerous for normal pilots, Oz went on to try to develop some more, I guess, toned back mobile suits like the Leo so that normal people could have a chance at actually using them. A few of the engineers that had worked on the Tallgeese escaped Oz because they wanted to work on something better and try to correct some of the mistakes that they had made on it. And one of those mistakes that they wanted to try to correct was the pilot's inability to keep up with the speed of the Tallgeese. So they introduced a system called the Zero system, which was supposed to help out the pilot kind of make predictions as to what the enemy would do so that they would be able to manage the mobile suit a little bit better. But as it turns out, the very thing they built to try to counteract their mistake was another mistake. Literally anybody that tried to pilot the Wing Zero went insane because of the Zero system. Nobody was able to handle it, and therefore it was lost to time. That is until Ketra found it in his home colony, and since he had left the Sandrock back on Earth, he needed a new Gundam to kind of go kick some ass. So he takes it out for a spin and proceeds to lose his mind. All the other Gundam pilots get a chance to pilot the Wing Zero. Eventually, it ends up with Zax, and Zax ends up handing it over to Hiro Yui. But that's enough about the history. Alright, so let's talk about the accessories. You get some transformable parts for the feet, so that when you go into the bird mode, you get your little thruster feet on there. And yeah, I don't really plan on using the bird mode, so yeah, I'm really disappointed that the little accent pieces here aren't in the right color, considering that I'm pretty sure they could have just molded the extra pieces to get it so that it's in the red and white. But Bandai likes to, for whatever reason, be lazy on some aspects. I mean, overall, the model kit's super badass. I mean, just look at the sticker sheet, it's like there's practically nothing on here. I've built a Wing Zero kit maybe at least 5 times. I've built a master grade maybe. I know I've built the high grades back in the day for both the Endless Waltz and the anime version. But yeah, so aside from little transforming parts, you also get some beam sabers and some hilts. I find it weird that there's nowhere to kind of store them on the model kits. Most model kits do have that, so what happened with that? Where would they even go? I have no freaking clue. I'm assuming somewhere in the wings, but because that's I think where the like the Endless Waltz version has them. But yeah, aside from that, you get the famous twin barrel rifle. So here it is. This part's a sticker, which, it isn't too bad. This part's kind of cool that it's actually molded in color. And you have the 2 handles for the 2 different split rifle. Whoops. And then split that open. And yeah, the sticker doesn't go through the inside. I don't know if it should. Maybe it would. I mean, it kind of looks like it should carry over, but overall, the sticker isn't too bad, and the color matching is probably the best that I could ask for, considering that I'll probably just have it in the double barrel form, and that looks pretty neat and clean. And then aside from that, you also get the shield, which I'm not sure how much of an accessory this is if it's part of the build mode. Jesus Christ, Wing Zero, stay standing. Okay, so here it is. It does this little bobble thing. Not sure what that's for. I would imagine that, like in the Wing Gundam, the beam saber probably goes in here. Really disappointed that they didn't do that though. And well, the rifles can go on the side of the shield for the transformation. So something like that, which looks pretty cool. You could even mount it on the arm like that. I'm pretty sure you can though. And I'm just like, one thing that I've always wondered is why didn't Hero Yui ever use this configuration like this in the anime? I mean, imagine he could have the fucking beam saber on one arm, and then, you know, fighting people, and he could be blasting people with this shield rifle thing, or whatever. So, anyways, aside from that, you have the wings, which tend to pop off fairly easily, especially if you try to push them up too much. I feel like they should have had a little bit more articulation, just because there could be some really badass poses that he could do if this guy could just move just a little more. And the fact that it doesn't is really kind of hurtful to just like the poser in me. So, moving along, aside from that, the wings also kind of have that little swivel. And then if you open them up, they have another swivel, so they could go in. That's mainly used for the transformation. I do like how the wings are pretty detailed with like the thruster. Before, like back in the day, they used to just be little flaps and that was about it. So like the fact that it actually has that is super cool. And then like, the detail inside of you, this side you go in there with just panel lining it, ends up making it look pretty interesting. So that you could even display it open like so, and it doesn't look too out of place. So I'm gonna just take these guys off because they do get annoying. So the head, you get a backwards and forward motion. It's on a ball joint, a double ball joint, so like it has a swivel at the base and then also like at the top of the head. And then it could go up and down, and then you could spin it all the way around. The shoulder cannon covers kind of hinder this a little bit, but I mean, it's doable. And these guys could open up to reveal. I'm not sure how they are supposed to open up properly. But inside you have the little Vulcan machine Gatling things. Probably will never get displayed out, but yeah, they're there. And then on the waist, it has a ball joint in there, which I feel like is underutilized. There should have been more movement in here, I feel like, due to that. But it's also on a ball joint down here. So, like, it could swivel around. And you could kind of tilt it off to the side, get it to do some side squats. Go into the arms. If you fold this thingy in where the wings would go, you rotate it all the way around. It's got a little like hinge where you can move the arm forward and backwards, which kind of helps with the posing, which is kind of cool. The shoulder piece is super badass that it's all color correct and separated.
It opens up into the 3 pieces, which is super cool. I've always liked that. I don't know, it just kind of makes it look a little bit more like exhaust stuff for like when it's trying to fire the blasters at full power. It's got a point of articulation right here. It can rotate all the way around. The elbow is on a double joint, so it could do that guy. Fold it all the way in. Hand is just a ball joint. It only comes as one set of hands, which is super disappointing. And that's about it. I do like how a lot of the armor pieces here, when you're putting it together, it's all different pieces. So, like, you don't really have to do too much of the panel lining there. Both arms said the same thing. Alright, say hi. Hi. And then next, we have the skirt armor. So I have them separated, although usually they don't come separated. But yeah, they could go up and down. And because of that, you can pick up the leg. Pretty badass. The leg is on a double joint also, although it can't necessarily actually fully bend through. That's about as much as it gets. But it can do a high kick. Can do a high kick. So if you wanted to do like a karate pose, you could totally do that. Let's see what else. The foot or the leg is has this little hinge on the back part, which is for the transformation, but it actually kind of helps out for some posing because it helps kind of like the toe point down a little bit. And what else? This guy, the armor piece that kind of covers the foot, is also on a hinge, and that's also just for the transformation, but it also kind of makes it look cool for some posing. And then the other part of articulation for this thing, oh well, the foot also, let's go with that, can rotate all the way around and just move back and forth a little bit. And then in here we have this cool feature. It can kind of just go all the way around, and guess what? You can also do a split if you get the skirt armor out of the way. It's not too bad. The skirt armor, the side skirt armor just goes forward and backwards, and it kind of goes out a little bit, but it is limited in its range of motion, as you can see since it popped out. Back armor, no, nothing, just there. And then these little thrusters back here kind of move a little bit. And yeah, that's the Wing Zero.
So here we have the Neo Bird mode, and it's very sleek design. It does look very cool with the thrusters underneath the wings, and if you plan on displaying it like this, it's not a bad way to do so. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of transforming mobile suits. It gets too close to Transformers to me, but it's whatever. The Wing Zero and the Wing Gundam aren't too bad in that regard. But overall, I'm just a bigger fan of the mobile suit designs, just because I think they have a little bit more going on and they look a little bit cooler, but ultimately it's really whatever. You can do whatever you want. The high grade 1-144 Wing Zero Gundam is a really cool model kit. It's surprising how advanced the engineering has gone into these things, considering that like the older model kits used to be just plastic shells kind of clamped together. And this model kit kind of reminds me of a very classic master grade with, the little inner frame that it has in it. So it's super cool. I highly recommend it. It still looks super cool straight out of the box if you don't plan on adding any painting onto it. It's just great. But yeah, thanks for checking out my review. If you've all built a Wing Zero or another one of the Wing kits from the same line, please let me know what you thought of them. I do plan on buying at least maybe one more. I like the Death Scythe design, so hopefully that comes out soon. Or maybe the Ultron. I don't know. Anyways, have a good one.